The school is welcoming. Even from your first day, you never feel like a stranger at the school. You're always welcomed, you're always accepted, both by students and teachers, and even the staff in general. And you get to know them really well, which really helps and really makes for an exciting experience at school.
I'm Agnes Stowicki, Managing Editor with Our Kids. We're speaking with insiders from Canada's leading private and independent schools to bring you insights into school programs, culture, traditions, and leadership. This includes insights from parents, alumni, and administration. This is the Our Kids Insider Perspective.
One thing I really appreciated about the school was the sense of community that you felt there. And I loved how you could so easily build close relationships and bonds with teachers and other students. You always felt like you could be open with teachers, you could go to them at any time to discuss things with them, whether you had an idea or an issue or whether you just wanted to talk to someone at times. Um, and the way that groups are built at the school is really honestly incredible. You never felt like anyone was left out, but everyone was always welcoming, and you'd build tight-knit groups all the time, whether it was people in your grade or people you'd met in other grades from clubs. And that's one thing I really loved about this is um, the kind of intergrade relationships you can build as well. It's not just every grade sticks with people who they know. The whole school kind of melt together at some time. Um, and yeah, you just really build a strong, strong sense of community there. So one thing that I think was a bit different about this school is how much every teacher would focus on each student specifically. A lot of the lessons, while they would be general since it's in a classroom setting, teachers would really focus on each student and kind of give them the instruction that they feel they would benefit the most from. As a result, communication is so much more open in the school between the students and staff, especially the teachers. As I said, students they always feel welcome to go and discuss with their teachers, to ask questions if they have anything to ask for help, which happens a lot. And teachers are always willing to work around this and to kind of tailor each lesson to every student. This is really amazing because you don't have many schools that do this instead of just kind of sending out a lesson to an entire class and then not following up with each student. Here, you really feel that, and it's obvious the teachers are always working for what's best for you, and you can see that every day in the school. So the first and biggest trait, probably the most important one that I can think of, is welcoming. The school always feels welcoming. Um, Ever since the first day that I went there, everyone automatically kind of welcomes you into every group. Kind of, you feel like you're part of the community on the very first day. The second one would probably be organized. Everything is always in the right place at the right time, and you never feel like anything is not thought of halfway through or anything is kind of messy and you have to learn the school system. Everything comes naturally. The way that lessons are planned, the way that lessons flow, the way that even the breaks and lunches are kind of set up. Everything is so organized and so on time every single day that you kind of you build a routine, and once you build that routine, it's hard to get out of that, but it allows you to kind of focus on what you need to focus instead of scrambling about everywhere trying to solve unnecessary problems, essentially. And the last one is attentive. So the school will always listen to your needs, will always work to try to find what is best for your needs and try to tailor everything to you. And will always try to understand what exactly your learning goals are and try to fit the lessons to match your goals instead of the other way around. So a really big thing at this school that we kind of pride ourselves on is our clubs. So we have a bunch of clubs at school, and they kind of rotate once every semester. So you'd sign up to a club, and then the next semester you'd either sign up to that same club again if you wanted to, and if it was still available, or you'd sign up to a new one. And now everyone loves these because you have a mix of grades in these clubs. So you kind of get to know people from other grades, and you really connect with the people at your clubs on a deep level because you're seeing them basically once a week, every week, and you're essentially collaborating on the same activities. Almost all of the clubs are to some extent about teamwork and collaboration and communication. And you also kind of build a bond with the teacher in charge of your club because there's a teacher in charge of every club. And yeah, you really get to know the other students in your club. And with the kind of club switching every semester, you can have a wider range of experiences. If you want to try out a new club with a new teacher, you meet some new people, and yeah, you build some new relationships. So I'd say the big three values of the school are collaboration, teamwork, and communication. Essentially, every event that we do, a lot of the assignments that we do as well, all have some sort of group project, are all some sort of group project. So you're always working with other people. A lot of the times, if it's an assignment or something, your teachers will switch around the groups in class so that you get to work with a bunch of different people. You're working with people who essentially study and work with a different style. And this is something that I really think will help will help any student prepare for their future, working around a bunch of people. Um, yeah, so collaboration, teamwork, and communication. Almost all of our events have at least one of these values embedded in them. Whether you're working with a group, you're working with someone else as a pair, you're working as a trio, you're designing a poster, you're picking up litter, you're even doing sports. All of these have one of these three values. And yeah, this is something we see over and over again in the school, and the teachers constantly talk about. And yeah, we really feel like it's an important part of our school's culture. I've actually seen a huge difference in the way that I kind of communicate and express myself after attending the school. I feel like I'm much more open, much more confident, I'd say, in the way I express myself. And I've learned how to essentially tailor the way I express myself as well to suit whomever I'm addressing. Um, and that's probably something that I've picked up from teachers and from having to essentially act as a role model for younger students. Yeah, so you kind of learn how to project yourself, how to understand who other people are, who you are, and how to learn what the best way to interact with them is. The only thing that really comes to mind is the facilities in the school, primarily the gym. Um, it is a bit smaller than most other school gyms at schools that I've been to. But at the same time, the school is fairly new, as of the time I'm recording this, and the facilities are expected to grow in the next few years, especially the gym. But that's the main thing I can really think about. Even then, with all our limitations, um, we find ways to make things work. We've held basketball tournaments in the gym. We've held many events in the gym as well. And we have a park behind our school that we kind of use to make up for our, how do I say this, our relatively underwhelming facilities or facility, which is the gym. But yeah, we've figured out ways to kind of get around that problem. But in the coming years, I really think there's going to be a huge improvement in that one aspect. But yeah, that's pretty much everything I can think about. I suppose one thing I've noticed about the school is the way that lessons are taught, I suppose. So in my previous school or previous schools, I would always have lessons and information sort of dumped on me, and I was expected to learn everything. In this school, it's a more gradual process, I suppose, and that's something that I wasn't 100% convinced about when I first joined. But now that I've graduated, I've seen how much of an improvement from the old system. It is. Lessons are fed to you as sort of jigsaw pieces in a puzzle. And once everything fits together, you finish like a unit, for example, you have your unit tests or whatnot. You kind of really see how all the pieces fit together, and this kind of slow growth and slower method of learning, it helps you in the long term because you retain information for longer. You understand how to think more clearly about whatever topic you're learning about, and you understand how to communicate your knowledge of the topic so much better. So I know I'm using this word a lot, but the school is welcoming. Even from your first day, you never feel like a stranger at the school. You're always welcomed, you're always accepted, both by students and teachers, and even the staff in general. And you get to know them really well, which really helps and really makes for an exciting experience at school and one that students really enjoy. The second I'd say is that you feel like your kids are in a safe environment where what they're learning is regulated, but also they're kind of allowed to explore matters of interest on their own, with guidance from teachers, of course. Um, yeah, but you always feel like you can trust the teachers to do what's best for the kids and to always keep them on a right path, I suppose you could say. And the third would be that the school really prepares you not just for what you want to study in your future, but a, a kind of general future. It teaches you skills that you never even knew you had to learn. It teaches you more how to think rather than what you should think about or what you should know. And I think that's probably one of the biggest points about this is how the school encourages thinking and kind of encourages students to explore their thoughts rather than just having mindless thoughts and uh, memorizing knowledge all the time, essentially. And that's a skill that's extremely useful in their futures. And as a graduate, is probably one of the biggest things I've taken away from the school. So one thing I would say is having a sort of direct relationship with the teachers, kind of a street of open communication with them, always helps no matter where you are. But I think for this specific school, it's incredibly important because of how connected the students are to the teachers. So yeah, having that sort of communication with teachers, being open with them, it really helps out a lot. I'd also say those first few weeks when your child has moved into the school, um, sort of keep tabs on them, check up on them every once in a while, see how they feel about the school, of course. And yeah, just place your trust in the teachers because they know what they're doing. They've been doing this for a while, and they know what's best for your kid as well. Of course, if there's anything that you feel is kind of off or something, you can always talk to them. And that's another reason why having this open communication with them is so important. You can discuss these, whatever concerns you have with your teacher or with your child's teacher, and they'll figure something out. They always come up with a solution to basically every problem or every sort of issue any parent has had with a certain case, and they'll make sure that you get what you feel your child deserves, but that your child is also maximizing their benefit from the school at the same time. So they will always figure out a compromise. And yeah, having that sort of communication and trust in the teachers is probably the most important thing about the school.
For more information about this school, you can visit their profile at ourkids.net.